depression and unemployment. This song's for you.
Today's a new day, but there is no sunshine. Nothing but clouds, and it's dark in my heart, and it feels like a cold night. Today's a new day.
Hi, my name is Raquel, and this is Pages of Life. Gosh, I have to say it again. Happy New Year's. It is 2013, and the year is just chugging along, and everybody is doing their thing. Well, this session we're going to be talking about some of the issues that continue to plague the African American community. Now, we know in the month of January we celebrated Martin Luther King's birthday, and in the month of February that is Black History Month. But something else significant happened in January that really changed the course of history. And I'm so excited to have been a part of that, and that was the re-election of President Barack Obama. Now, the African American community has come a very long way, you know, from the March on Washington, from civil rights, to the right to vote, to education, us having the right to even eat in the same restaurants as our counterparts, the white people. But yet we still have so far to go. There are some issues that we continue to struggle with in the African American community. Now, truth be told, there may be some issues that are really significant just to the African American community, but really it goes across the board. There's a lot of Americans that are suffering and having issues in this economy. But there's a couple of things that I wanted to bring out to you today, and I definitely want you to talk back to me. I want you to hit me up and tell me and respond and tell me what your thoughts are, what you think are some of the issues that are going on in the African American community. Because obviously I can say what, you know, I've researched and what my own personal thoughts are, but of course you have your own personal thoughts as well. Well, one of the issues that I know that we've been struggling with and has been a challenge for many, many years is really our lack of support of one another in the African American community. I mean, there are still in some states where, you know, African Americans, we do not support one another at all in business, in relationships, family, in nothing. We do not support one another. And you would think that part of our African culture was to stick together and to make it happen, and we're a family and let's do this thing. But we really don't. In the African American community, we are one of the cultures that really, we do not have that, I don't know, that tie, that bind, if you will. We don't support one another like other cultures do. Now, one of the other issues that's plaguing our African American community is our men going to prison. The prison system in jail, and our young men and our young women, just jail period, prison period. This seems to be there. You cannot talk to one person, one African American person on this planet that does not have somebody that has been in jail or know someone that is still in jail right now serving a life sentence or serving at least 10 years. That is an issue for us. And one of the reasons is because of our lack of support. I mean, one issue ties into the next issue. It really does. Okay. Another issue that seems to be plaguing the African American community is education. We do not push education with our children and with our families. We do not. You know, for so long, I remember there was a time when we always talked about sports and being a singer or a rapper in the entertainment industry. But we never pushed education. Okay, it's great if you're wonderful at sports, if you're an excellent basketball player. Well, go to school and get your degree in sports health or in something that has to do with sports, but go and get your degree. We don't push education. And guess what? That means that we are not a viable candidate to the major political arenas or the major corporations that, you know, have the bigwigs. The African American people are underrepresented. And some people will say, well, it's not because we're not out there and we're not educated, but the percentage that is educated is very low. So we have jail, lack of support, education. Those are some of the things that are plaguing the African American community. Also, one of the issues that we see that is really plaguing the African American community is crime. Now, crime goes along with the prison and it goes along with the support. Okay? And again, one of the issues, I mean, they all tie into each other, but when you start to delve into each one of them, there are some underlying things that are not just because of the African American community. There are some underlying things as well. But as far as as far as us supporting one another, we don't need anyone to tell us to do that. We can do that on our own. We definitely can do that on our own. Okay, so I lost my train of thought. Okay, let me go back. What was I saying, Jocelyn? What was the third one? What was the fourth one? Now, crime is also one of the issues that is plaguing our communities. And again, it goes back to support. If we have the support, you know, not to say that we won't have crime, but if we have the support, we wouldn't have as much crime as we do. Okay, and some other issues that came up was gun control, teenage pregnancy, which is really high in the African American community, and HIV. You know, brothers on the down low, you know, and sisters not getting tested, and we're passing on this disease. So we still have a long way to go as far as an African American community is concerned. But some of our other issues that we see that we are affected by outside sources that affect us is the economy. Okay, the lack of health care that's available to us in our in some of the more urban communities. We don't have the resources that we really need, and that has a lot to do with the government as well. You know, that's something that is really out of our control. But the truth is, people, is that once we push education with our young people, then we can get our young people in those positions to start to make a difference. But if we don't push education and support one another so they don't have to turn to a life of crime, okay, then we'll never be able to make a difference. We can't have a voice if we don't have someone in the House, in the White House, representing our voice. Okay, so I just want you guys to talk back to me. Tell me what are some of your thoughts concerning some of the issues that are plaguing the African American community. This is the Black History Month, in the month of February. We're going to be talking about this all month long. I'm looking forward to having some of my special guests on, and I definitely want you to continue to watch and support. Okay, I want to leave you with this. What are you writing on the pages of other people's lives, and what are you allowing them to write on your pages? This is Raquel, and this is Pages of Life. Be blessed. It's 2013. Start a new chapter.
Fell from heaven like a shower.
When I think how much better I'm gonna